the past 7 years, there's been, in my opinion, a lot of bad WrestleManias. 26 was in 2010, and the main event being Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, career versus streak, where Shawn Michaels' career ended. That WrestleMania was actually really good. A lot of good matches. And I'm not going to count Brett versus Vince McMahon. That was a bad match. Um, there was Batista versus John Cena, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho versus Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship, the Money in the Bank ladder match. Um, just a lot of good matches. If you go back to that WrestleMania, you'll see how good it really was. Then the next year, it went from Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, career versus streak, to The Miz versus John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania 27. Like, it's funny because The Miz was in a tag match with the Big Show against R-Truth and John Morrison, and then a year later he's main eventing WrestleMania 27. And the reason he won the title is because he cashed in Money in the Bank on a hurt Randy Orton when the Nexus attacked him, from what I remember. And I was saying, man, after I watched WrestleMania 27, I was like, man, that WrestleMania is so terrible. The only good thing about that WrestleMania was The Undertaker versus Triple H. But that WrestleMania was terrible. WrestleMania 28, The Rock versus Cena, once in a lifetime, so they say. That WrestleMania, I didn't care for The Rock versus Cena. I wasn't really big on that feud. I mean, the match was all right. I wasn't expecting The Rock to really win it, even though they were in Miami. But that WrestleMania, the end of an era was all right, kind of thing, But CM Punk versus Chris Jericho was okay, but that whole WrestleMania was mediocre to me. WrestleMania 29, Rock versus Cena again, twice in a lifetime with a bunch of rematches. Brock versus Triple H. The only thing great about WrestleMania 29 was CM Punk versus The Undertaker. And that was it. That whole WrestleMania just sucked. WrestleMania 30, kinda alright. Not as good as WrestleMania 26, but Daniel Bryan defeating Triple H in the first match and defeating Randy Orton and Batista didn't seem believable in people's minds. WrestleMania 30 had some good moments. Daniel Bryan becoming champion, Undertaker's streak ended. Well, good and bad moments, I guess. But the thing about WrestleMania 30 was, it was still not great. It was just okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying they've been bad, but that WrestleMania, it didn't have enough matches. It wasn't a big enough card for it to be really good, in my personal opinion, as far as WrestleMania 30 goes. WrestleMania 31, Roman Reigns getting a push against Brock Lesnar. That WrestleMania, it was kinda alright. I liked Brock versus Roman Reigns, but then, Sting versus Triple H was so... I didn't like the whole DX and NWO invading the entire match type of thing. And I think Sting should have won. Like, that WrestleMania, Bray Wyatt versus Undertaker, that was okay. The ladder match was alright, but thing about that WrestleMania was, again, it was... I won't call it good, mediocre too, in my personal opinion. WrestleMania 32 now. They had a lot of people were injured during that time. You had Seth Rollins injured. You had Finn Balor was injured, if he was going to debut or not. A lot of people were injured. Cesaro was gone. He returned next time on Raw. I forgot everyone who was injured, but that WrestleMania was I don't know, 32. They really had to figure out something because everyone was out. So the main event was Triple H versus Roman Reigns, which I didn't have a problem with. Triple H won the Royal Rumble, becoming the WWE champion, because that was their deal then, so people would watch it. AJ Styles' WrestleMania debut was also alright, although he didn't win, and Jericho beat him, which I didn't think made a lot of sense, honestly. What else? There was a Shane McMahon versus Undertaker, which I guess they manipulated us into thinking that maybe Shane McMahon would win, because they said if he beats the Undertaker will be gone, for one, and Shane McMahon will get to control the entire company, which happened the next night on Raw anyways, or running SmackDown, however way you look at it. Shane McMahon returned after 7 years, because he said he He wanted a life, is what people say in interviews about why he left. But as far as WrestleManias goes, there hasn't been a great WrestleMania. I don't mean bad, but there hasn't been a great WrestleMania until WrestleMania 26. That was the last great WrestleMania I remember seeing. Even if you guys don't think WrestleMania 26 was any good, I thought it was pretty good. But and they didn't even have to have the main event, the world title or WWE championship match. So, like, as far as WrestleManias goes, I think WrestleMania 26, in my personal opinion, was the last good WrestleMania. And it's been 7 years of mediocre, not so good, bad WrestleManias. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I wish they could have done, more stuff with WrestleMania. Then they could have had better ideas, but it has been pretty whack. But WrestleMania 33 is April 2nd. It might be good. It might top it. I don't know, but it's not looking so good in my opinion. But that's all I want to say.